All right, guys. Today we got Wholesale Greg on Shop Talk. He's done over $100 million in wholesale. Now that's not profit, so we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of who he is, where he came from, how he started, and then he's created. He spent over $100,000 creating this plan, so you can do what he did. He's old. He's ready to get out of the business. He's trying to hand over the game to the new guys. You know, he's been in the industry how many years?
34.
34 years, right? I'm nobody. I'm small fish in the pond. I've been trying to get wholesalers to come talk to me because I got a big platform, and none of them want to do it. Nobody wants to give out the game. They're all gatekeeping. I found somebody. So this is Greg. Greg, introduce yourself, man.
What's up, y'all? So my name's Greg Campbell, aka Wholesale Greg. Yeah, like Rob said, I've been in the game 34 years. When I started, I'm from a small town in Kansas. I started out, I kind of grew up on a farm / ranch. So my dad, he was a cowboy. And so my dad's side hustle was he bought and sold horses.
Okay.
So like I flipped cars, he flipped horses. So, in learning that game, I translated that into cars. Me and my dad, we started a horse auction when I was 12 years old. So I'm in the 6th grade.
Okay.
And dude, I'm starting to learn the auction game and buying and selling. And then I always went with my dad to buy horses and sell horses. So I've been around that since I was a kid. I was going to auctions as a kid, like, 2, 3, 4 years old, right? So I learned from my dad how to buy and sell horses. And then we got in the auction game, and we were in the auction game when I was 12. And then when I was about 18, I met some car dealers, and they were big wholesalers. They came to our horse auction, and they were driving brand new Corvette convertibles with dealer plates. I'm like, man, who's these guys? Because anybody that rolled into the horse auction flexing, we're always kind of like, dude, is this dude, are they scammers? Are they, what are they? So they wanted to get next to me because we own the auction. I wanted to get next to them because they're driving brand new Corvettes, and I'm 18. Yeah. And so they were like, dude, come to the car auction with us. So I go to the car auction, and I'm like, this ain't no different than the horse auction. It's basically the same game. It's just, 4 legs and 4 wheels. And dude, I was hooked, like, from that moment. And then what I found out too, in horse auctions and car auctions, a lot of the auctioneers, they do both.
Really?
Yeah. So you'll have your auctioneers, they do cattle sales, horse auctions, car auctions, like all those guys. You see a lot of the guys that'll dress like, kind of westerny.
Yeah.
That's because they're mainly farm and cattle
they're always
guys.
talking about it. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy the amount of money, like, some of the horses and cows and stuff bring. But so in that aspect, for me, it was just like, dude, this is a natural, progression, because like the auction game to me is the same. Now I just, instead of having a horse, I have a car. Now I just need to learn these cars.
So what was your first auction?
So it was interesting because there was one of our auctioneers, he did a car auction, and he filled in for us sometimes. He bought a car at the car auction. He drove it to our horse sale, and me and my buddy, we wanted to get into flipping cars. So he sold us the car. My buddy's a guy that he went to high school with. His dad owned a GM Pontiac dealership, and they had a little budget lot where they sold trade-ins. So we took that car. We had no idea what we're doing. We took that car to him, and here's a rule number 1, guys, in this business. He who speaks first loses. So we didn't price him the car. We were just like, because we had no clue. We're like, what do you give us for it? And he's, doing back then the old black books and all this stuff. And he's like, we'll give you whatever. I think it's $4,200. And I think we paid him $2,000 for the car. Okay. So me and my buddy split $2,200. My first deal was $1,100. Now, mind you, this was 1991. I'm like 18. I'm working 3 jobs plus our family business, and I'm barely making $1,100 a month. So, boom, like the light bulb went off. I'm like, okay, this is like drug dealing, but it's legal. And I was hooked. Ever since, I was like, dude, I was bit by the car bug, and dude, that was my beginning. The first auctions I went to was Odessa. Back then, Odessa was the big game.
Okay.
Before Mannheim. Mannheim was like the little punk sale.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Odessa was the game.
So you always wanted to do wholesale from the beginning. You never thought about retail?
I dabbled in retail a little bit, but since I was already in the auction game and I had that foundation, like I'm used to transactions, buy, sell, make my profit. You know what I mean? And I already had that kind of that gift of buying something, cleaning it up, buying it cheap, cleaning it up, fixing it, whether it was a horse or a saddle for a horse, and then selling it for a profit, right? So I kind of had that foundation. Then I go to the auction, and these guys happen to be wholesalers, and they made the wholesale life seem like it was like a rock star type drug dealer lifestyle. And I was like, dude, I like this freedom, because at the time, all the guys that I knew that worked in dealerships, dude, they were miserable because they're stuck in a dealership from sun up to sundown like 6-7 days a week.
Yeah.
And us as wholesalers, dude, we're running and gunning and running the streets, and we set our own schedule. So that was kind of my thing. I was like, I want to do what I want, when I want, have that freedom. And so that was kind of the allure for me. I was not interested in sitting in a dealership.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I was the exact opposite. I started as a sales rep.
Nah.
And I always saw the owner driving these nice cars, and I'm like, hey, I want to be the owner of a dealership.
Yeah.
I didn't meet a wholesaler until I started buying cars. And I see your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I know a wholesaler at Mannheim. He's got lane 6. He's killing it. He says, I work till the auction closes and I'm done. That's it every day. So if someone was new to the game, right, and they entered, you would tell them to start with wholesale or retail. What's the best way to learn?
Here's the thing. I believe, wholesale, and here's why. Because the foundation for the car business, I don't care if you're a wholesaler, a retailer like yourself, a new car store, doesn't matter. At some point, you've got to do two things. You got to buy a car, you got to sell a car, right? So we all have that in common. My slogan is the money's made in the buy.
Okay.
And that's always been my motto, because if you buy a car right, like I've been through in my 34 years, I've been broke 3 times. I've been through the economic crash of 08, 09. I've been through 911. I've been through, like, you name it, I've been through it. Like one day you just wake up and all of a sudden the world's coming to an end. It's like they shut the light switch off. Money stops flowing and everything. It's crazy. But COVID, for example, the prices of cars in the very beginning dropped to like nothing because everybody's scared to death. They thought the world was coming to an end.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Even at that time, all those times, there's still a buyer for a car. You know what I mean? If I've got a Ferrari, let's say the Ferrari was $350,000 new, it's worth something. It's never worth zero. Even if the market's dead and nobody's buying anything. Think about this. If I'm getting ready to go broke, I own this Ferrari and it's paid for in cash, nobody wants to buy it. And they're like, Greg, give me 50 grand for the Ferrari. Here's the title. Here's the 50. I'm calling up somebody and I'm like, dude, I got a Ferrari. I don't care that the world's coming to an end, but it's $150,000 under value. Do you want it? Yeah, I'll take it. So if you buy the car right, you can always sell it to somewhere, to somebody. Somebody's always going to buy a deal. And that's always been my motto, is like the money's made in the buy. I did retail for a little bit. I'm selling cars retail for what other guys are paying for them because I'm making my money in the buy and the reconditioning. So literally my cars sold themselves. And then after dealing with the people and the people thinking you're out to screw them, even though you're giving them a good deal, I'm just like, screw this. I'm going back to wholesale. People don't appreciate what I'm doing for them. And I can get the same money wholesale as I can retail because I know how to buy them right. So it just made it so much easier. But to answer your question, yes, I think that everybody should start wholesale because no matter what, you got to learn how to buy a car. You got to know what you're buying. The money's made in the buy. And then you've got to recondition it. Unless you're a new car store or somebody selling like very late model cars, which you got to have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to do, you're going to have to buy a lesser expensive car, and all those cars need something. And that's where all the money's made. Learning what the fixes are and what the repairs cost. And so the competition out there is everybody's trying to buy the nice cars. Well, I want to be where there's no competition, right? And once you learn that, if you were a wholesaler, you're going to make money. If you're a retailer, you're just going to make even more money. And then the other thing is, if you're a retailer and you've learned the wholesale game, you're setting yourself up for way more success in retail, because if you pay all the money for a car, then you recon it, then you floor plan it, then you plus, you're losing money for sure unless you retail it.
Fair.
If I buy it wholesale, okay, and buy it right and recondition it right, and let's say I've got some wholesale money laying on the table in the beginning, $1,000, $1,500, maybe $2,000. So I'm going to go for retail to try to make $2,000 or $3,000. Now I'm looking at a $5,000 retail deal. If that car doesn't sell, or if the market drops, I'm probably at a break even wholesale. Most of these guys are trying to break even retail. And what they're doing is they're double killing themselves, because now you're taking away a customer that you could have made a profit on with the car you're just trying not to lose on. Versus if you buy them wholesale, they don't sell retail. I go wholesale them, I break even. I replace it with a car I can retail. And now that customer, I don't waste that customer on the deal just to break me out of the deal. So between those two transactions, you're talking about possibly a $7,000 swing,
Okay.
right?
So I've been in the retail game 14 years.
Yep.
So I started before the internet was big.
Yep.
Then we had TrueCar hit. You remember TrueCar?
Yep.
They printed out, this is what I need to pay.
Yep.
It is what it is. Then Car Gurus hit.
Yep.
Right? Then the auction got big on online. So how do you compete with online as a wholesaler, right? Because I view myself as a wholesale buyer.
Okay.
Right? Because I go to the auction, I look at the same inventory you look at, right? And I think I value them the same way you value them. And I could be wrong, because obviously I'm losing on retail. I got cars I'm going to lose $4,000 retail on.
Yeah.
And my argument would be to you, you said everybody's looking for the nice, clean cars.
Yep.
Right? But the dealers I talk to are looking for the cheap cars to sell. The $2,000 cars, the $3,000 cars, the cars they can put a little money in and move on with it. So what are you looking at differently than what I might be looking at?
So for somebody, so I had a conversation with a guy a couple nights ago. He has 4 dealerships. They sell 100 to 150 cars a month. They have 25 lenders, right? His price range, I think, is like, 8, 9, 10 grand to 20 grand, that kind of price range retail. Okay. He said, I'm online buying cars off simulcast, 25 auctions a week. Because he asked me, he reached out to me, hey, what would it take for maybe you to buy cars or spot cars or whatever? And
what does that spot cars mean?
So when I've got a guy out of state that's going to buy online, and this is what I teach, it's like, you guys got to put your hands on these cars, right? Because you can't trust the condition reports, and you can't, without seeing them and feeling and touching them.
Correct.
Okay. So when you go spot a car, I will go put my hands on that car, and then I will report back to him, hey, this car's clean and whatever. So he would just pay me to basically inspect the car so he could still buy it online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. Which is where I'm kind of going with the training program and the software and everything. What I'm gonna create is basically certified inspectors. If you don't want to get in the car business, if you don't want to be a wholesaler or retailer, you just want to be a spotter, inspector, a buyer. And then also the software enables when that person to do it, to put that information in there. And then that guy sitting on his computer can see the real live data from his guy that he trusts giving him the feedback.
So you'd essentially create your own condition reports.
Oh, 100%.
Because Manheim, everybody's are bogus.
Yeah.
They're so all who you know.
Huh?
It's all who you know and who you can pay.
100%. And even when they try to do it legit, you have somebody, and this is why I go back to once again, there's some big car groups, multi-car groups that hire full-time buyers, right? And when I looked at those groups, I'm like, they're making big mistakes hiring buyers that have never wholesaled or never reconditioned a car. Okay? Because if I'm hiring you as a buyer and you've never spent your own money and you've never inspected your own cars and you've never made a mistake and you've never known how much this cost or that cost, and I'm just paying you to go to the auction and buy cars, dude, all you're doing is blowing somebody else's money.
That's it.
But if I've spent my own money, or if I've wholesale cars and reconditioned cars, that I know when I'm going to buy the car, I'm looking at it completely different, right? It's that's why I say I truly believe that everybody should work some type of reconditioning before they actually become a buyer. If I own multi-car stores, I would require all my guys to go through reconditioning, probably spend at least 30 days in reconditioning before I ever let them go buy a car. Because here's the thing, I can teach you or tell you, hey, you know, this scratch, you can wet sand and polish it, right? There's kind of the trick, you know, you run your fingernail across the scratch. If you can feel it, it's not going to polish out. But if you run your fingernail across the scratch, you don't feel it, then it'll wet sand and polish out.
You know, I've never believed in wet sand.
Yeah.
I don't think it works. So you got to tell me about this.
There's the trick. So if there's a scratch in a car,
okay,
you run your fingernail across the scratch. If your fingernail catches, then that means it's not going to be able to wet sand and polish out.
What is a wet sand?
So you take sandpaper.
Okay.
Like if you take a car to the body shop, somebody that does quality high-end jobs,
okay,
if there gets to be little dirt or fish eyes or anything in the paint, when they're done painting it, they'll wet sand it. So they take literally a bucket of water with a real fine sandpaper and they'll dip it in the water and they'll sand the car. So it sands out those imperfections.
I don't believe you, bro. For real?
Oh, yeah, we do it. How do you think you do headlights?
I don't do headlights either. I don't know how to do it.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's how you do the headlights. You wet sand the headlights.
It's not going to scratch the paint?
No. You start out with a real fine sandpaper. So like something that's
So you were talking about the wet sand.
All right, so back to wet sand. So literally sandpaper. There's the numbers on the sandpaper, the higher the number, the finer it is. So when they say I'll start with 3,000, 3,000 super fine, so it's not going to damage the clear coat.
Okay.
So you start with 3,000, then you maybe go to 2,000. You know what I mean? So it's a process. When you know what you're doing, you start with the coarse stuff. So maybe like a 1,000 or 800 or whatever. So you start with the more aggressive to get like knock the edge off, and then you go through a process. Then you go to the higher ones, higher ones, higher ones. It gets finer, finer, finer. Then when you get to the final, like a 3,000, then once you're done at that stage, then you take out your buffer and you just buff it, and it looks like brand new.
I thought that was a myth.
No.
When somebody tells me I wet sand, I'm like, oh,
no.
He's getting off on me.
Yeah.
So is clay bar reeling too?
Well, here's the thing. So once again, we're going back to wholesale.
Yeah.
Okay. So before I learned the headlight trick, and now you see like those kits on TV and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But before that, we were replacing the headlights. So this is where I show you in wholesale and buying the cars when you're spending your own money. This is the stuff you learn because you're always looking for how can I do this better and cheaper and faster. So instead of paying $150 for a pair of headlights, I can wet sand them and hit them with a buffer in less than probably 3 minutes and make them almost look brand new versus buying a $150 set of headlights. You know why? Because I used to buy and replace all the headlights until I learned this trick.
You know, I've tried to do the headlights.
Yeah.
I've made them worse every time.
Well, you just haven't done the process right.
I've been in the game a long time, and there's a lot of things I don't know. I never
Yeah.
knew about wet sanding. I've heard about it, but I've always thought it was a myth.
Yeah.
The body shop charges me to get more money.
Right. Well, the reason it's because it's time consuming.
Got you.
Right. I mean, when you look at like show cars,
Mm-hmm.
dude, they've spent hours and hours and hours and hours like wet sanding it and polishing it to perfection. When it looks like glass and you can see yourself in the reflection of a paint job, that's because they spent so much time, number one in the prep work, but then after it's painted, it's a process of sanding and polishing, sanding and polishing, sanding and polishing. It's very labor intensive and time consuming. Yeah. That's the difference between the $400, Econo, Mako, spray it, go, you get some extra paint on your windshields and your moldings and your tires.
Yeah,
but
all the time.
Yeah, that's it. It's like an assembly line. You want it done right and polished and no dirt, no runs, no nothing. Takes a lot more time. So obviously that's a lot more money.
So as a wholesaler, where would you say the majority of your inventory comes from? Are you auction buying only?
So back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I've got a few years on you. There was no simulcast. There was no internet. Like, dude, when I started, I had the brick phone. Do you know what a brick phone is?
I remember them in the TV shows.
Yeah, and I had a pager. I had a pager first, then a brick phone. This shows you how.
So you went in there with a book.
Yeah. So we had the old books. They were the paper books, and there was Black Book and there was NADA. So it's JD Power now.
Yeah.
But correct. It used to be called Blue Book NADA. That was it. There was those two books. The Black Book was the auction wholesale, and the Blue Book is what the retail guys used.
Okay.
Okay. So, it's what I teach everybody. You got to know what you can sell the car for. So if I know that you're buying Dodge trucks and you'll pay Black Book clean wholesale, then when I flip open the book and I see Black Book clean wholesale 10 grand and the thing's got, needs a fender and a bumper painted and needs tires, then I'm just figuring it backwards because I know once I get it ready to go, I can take it to Rob. He's going to pay me clean Black Book, right? Mm-hmm. So back in the day, we used to be able to buy cars directly out of the new car stores. We did some auction stuff, but if you got a connection in a new car store, it was like winning the lottery. What happened was when Manheim started to grow, they went into all the new car stores and they said, hey, Greg, he's buying all the cars from you guys. He's bringing them to the auction. He's making a bunch of money on them. So why don't you guys just bring the cars to us direct and we'll work you out a deal. And that's literally what the auction did. They went around to all the new car stores and they basically just killed all the relationships the wholesalers had. So then we were pretty much forced to buy them at the auction. And that's really where my game started with the reconditioning part of it.
Okay. Because
when you're buying them straight out of the store, in the old days, you'd walk in there on Monday morning and they'd have like a key ring with all the wholesale cars on it. And there'd be like 25 cars on there. And you would go get the key ring to all the wholesale cars and you'd go out and they'd all be in the back. And you'd go out there and you'd start them and, check them out, whatever. You'd come in, you set the keys down and you'd make a deal and you'd buy every one of them. And that was the deal. If you wanted to keep the trap, we call them traps, you had to buy every car because you didn't want anybody else to get in there. And, because what guys would try to do is get in there, pay more money for the cars to try to get you out, to get their foot in the door. And then once you're out, then they're buying the cars cheaper. So it was brutal back then. But the thing about it was you buy 25 cars, some of them are going to lose, some of them are going to win, some of them are going to break even. You just looked at the whole group as, am I going to win more than I lose?
Fair.
Right? But the thing about it was, we didn't really do anything to them. Maybe detail them. So it was just a transaction.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was so easy. So easy. easier.
So Manheim and the internet have kind of changed this for you.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, yeah. When Manheim went in there and stole all the new car stores and had them run their cars to the auction, there's where the game changed. Now, instead of me going in there, let's say you're the used car manager and I'm just working the deals with you, I'm just buying them. So if I tell them, hey, this car's only worth $500, it probably is only worth, that to me. But at the auction, you get 2 or 3 idiots bidding on the car. It may bring $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And they don't know what they're doing, whatever. So that's where the new car stores, once they gave them a taste of that. So I'm like, man, now I got to figure out a new angle. So what's the angle now? Now it's, I need to buy cars that need something. And when I say need something, need some paint work, need some upholstery work, needs air conditioning, needs some tires, needs something, right? And then that was the game. So had to learn what to buy and how to fix it, because dude, some of the new car trade-ins back in the day, they were the, you hear about the little old ladies cars and stuff like that. Dude, I bought so many cars like that literally just smelt new, looked new, because they wouldn't keep anything. There were so many cars back then. If it had over 50,000 miles, they would just wholesale it. Like now, they'll keep something with 300,000 miles.
It's crazy.
It is insane.
I remember people wouldn't buy cars with over 80,000 miles when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now, 150, 175, 200, nobody cares.
It was 50,000 miles was the cutoff. And then it was like if they were over a few years old, So like the quality of the trade-ins was just unbelievable. You didn't have to do a lot of reconditioning back in the day. But as the years have gone on and on and on, well, do you remember Cash for Clunkers?
Yes.
Okay. That was the start of Greg, Wholesale Greg, BuyCon. Like that was the start of, okay.
What's BuyCon?
So BuyCon is my training program, and it's also the software. So buying and reconditioning.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah, yeah. So BuyCon University is the training program, and then BuyCon is my software.
So all the years of all the data you've collected is there.
100%.
Okay,
yeah,
I like
that.
that.
All the secret sauce. It's. But that was the thing. The Cash for Clunkers changed the game, because what was the cars that they crushed? Literally, they paid people to crush their cars. So you have these $3,000 to $7,000 cars, and the government just paid you for those cars, and they literally took them to the salvage yard and crushed them.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So now you take out that price range, that segment car, and it wasn't junk cars, because they would give you like way more than the car was worth.
Yeah.
Of course, the government, they don't do anything smart, right? So they're going to give you $7,000 for your $4,000 car, and there's nothing wrong with it. You're still sending it to them. It took all those cars out of the market, and that was the start. That was the start of, okay, now the supply of used cars is becoming more scarce. When there's less of them, the demand's coming up. Then we go through some dips and stuff in the economy. Now people need cheap, affordable cars. Now there's not a lot of them. Now that, that's driving the prices of them up. Then buy here, pay here starts to get big. This is going back, like 20 years ago. Now buy here, pay here starting to get big. Well, what does buy here, pay here need? They need that $3,000 to $5,000 car. Well, there ain't none of them. There ain't a lot of them left. So now they're driving up the prices of those because they need them. Now the everyday consumer, there's not those cars. So that was really the birth of what I still do today. I have one dealer that they started their buy here, pay here dealership probably 21 years ago, 22 years ago. And they taught me the Frontline ready game, because they did buy here, pay here. They still do it better than anybody. They buy a nice car that's ready to go, and they sell it to their customers. They take care of their customers. They take care of the car. Their focus was on taking care of their customers, not buying and reconditioning cars. So they're like, They'll buy the cars from me, but I got to get them perfect. I got to get them ready to go. They'll pay me a premium because not only am I selling them a car, at this point, I'm providing a service.
Okay.
Now they don't have to go out to the auctions and try to buy them and deal with the headaches and deal with the arbitration, and deal with the titles, and deal with this one that passed a green light or a post sale, but then it actually overheats and the transmission's bad and all that stuff that you go through. They don't have time for that. That's not the business they're in. But that was really the start of it back then, and that's where I learned, and that's where I learned the angle of the need for those cars when the supply started shrinking and the demand started going up. And it's either you have two choices: you pay a premium for the car that doesn't need much recon, or you buy something that needs recon and you're going to buy it for a lot less, but you're going to have to do some work to it.
So the game is recon. Wholesalers are buying the good deals, reconning the car, and getting them ready for dealers like me. Because I prefer to buy Frontline ready.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah.
You just fixed my Ford Explorer.
Yeah.
I've had that car for 90 days.
Yeah.
I've lost money at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to lose $1,500 and be happy to do it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the 90 days to wait.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. I don't know what you paid for it, but let's just say hypothetically you paid
$5,000.
Okay, let's say you paid $5,000 for the car.
I got $1,400 in mechanic fees.
Yeah, and
I planned on selling.
And it's still not ready to go.
And the AC doesn't work.
Yeah, AC and
it needs a detail. The backup camera doesn't work.
Needs a little PDR.
Yeah, it needs some things.
Yeah.
And mind you, I got it back from you. I'm at 90 days today.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm already, let's say, between floor plan fees, mechanics, $6,500 on a car I wanted to sell for $699.
Yeah.
Got to fix the AC. We know that's going to be a $500 pop.
Yeah.
Then my floor plan, I'm going to have an interest curtailment, let's say $300.
So here's an example. You paid $5,000 for the car, thinking you probably weren't going to do much to it, right?
Yeah, I bought a green light.
Yeah, green light, thinking you're not going to do much to it. But what if, like, I would have brought you that car with all that stuff fixed, okay, ready to go, guaranteed for $6,000?
I'd have bought it.
You'd have bought it.
Detailed too?
Detailed.
Oh,
you seen my stuff?
Yeah.
Brand new floor mats in every car, detailed, brand new tire. Here's the thing. Now, you said originally you're going to probably, what, $69.95 it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you easily $79.95 it. Because, I don't know if you've seen my video the other day where we were shipping cars. So not only do we, in our reconditioning process, we do everything. When I'm done, I have like a 180-point inspection we do. I put a copy of the inspection with the repair ticket on the dash of the car.
Nice.
If I did that for you and your customer comes in and this car's sitting there on new tires, it's detailed, it runs, it drives, it does everything it's supposed to do. Plus, hey, folks, by the way, we've inspected the car, 180-point inspection. Here's the invoices for all the repairs and reconditioning and maintenance we did to the car. Dude, you just sit back and you don't have to say another word.
It's like a clean Carfax.
It's what is the objection at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the price is too high. Oh, okay. Well, then go try to find another one that's ready to go with the inspection, with the service records that you ain't going to have to spend no money on. Trust me.
That's my favorite line. Find another one.
Yeah.
You said new tires. Are you really putting new tires or do you use used?
Yeah, it's funny because Rick, he's like, does Wholesale Greg really put new tires on every car? And I'm like, look, I do what my customer, right, or my account or my whatever their requirements are, I do. And this is what I always tell people: do exactly, give them exactly what they want, plus a little more. You'll never go wrong. And the plus a little more is usually not that big a deal. Like I buy brand new floor mats and we put them in every car, the rubber ones.
Yeah.
I buy them 100 sets at a time, and I think I buy them for $15. But it's just that little touch.
It goes a long way.
When they open the door, because they smell, they got the smell to them. But here's the thing on tires. This is a pro tip for anybody. If in reconditioning, here's two things. My top two things if I'm going to spend money on a car, that you're always going to get way more out of it than what you spend on it. Number one's a detail. My very first car that I bought at an auction and sold at an auction, I bought an old Chevy Blazer. You remember the little Blazers, like 88 style, right?
Okay.
This thing was a new car trade. It was dirty, paint was faded, but you opened the door and the interior was like it had never been sat in. Like you could just tell. It was just, but from the outside, it just looked like an old turd. I took it to my guy. He detailed it. I paid $1,000 for it. He detailed it. I took it back to the same auction the next week, and it brings $2,000.
Every time I've seen it.
Doubled my money off of a detail. Didn't do anything else to the car.
Do you believe in seat covers?
Nah,
It's not your thing. Huh?
not my thing.
So you do it all right.
Yeah. And so back to the tires. So there's a threshold, depending on your state too. A lot of states have state inspections, but when they set up QC standards for a car, a lot of times the minimum tread depth for a car is 5/32. Okay, like if you could buy a certified pre-owned car, they have a checklist. It has to have tires that are at least a certain tread depth, and they can't be a certain age old even, and they can't have weather cracks in them or anything. So here's the number one thing, especially on cheap cars: brand new tires. Because if I'm selling a cheap car to a customer, their money's limited to begin with, right? Whether you're selling it to them a cash or a retail or a buy here, pay here. The last thing that you want to do, there's two reasons. One, let's say you sell them the tires and they're right on the edge. Maybe they're a 5, maybe they're a 4.5, depending on how you look at it. And you're thinking, the normal person, wholesaler, normal, any car dealer I've ever seen, they're just going to try to like get away with it. Okay? Not me. If it's even questionable, I'm putting brand new tires on it. Brand new. And here's why. New tires sell.
Yeah.
If I got a car with brand new tires, it can have some dents and scratches and the paint may be matching. They don't even see that. They see new tires. Why? Because when I buy tires brand new for, I used to get them for some of them cars $50, $60 a piece because I'm buying lots of volume, right? But let's say now, even if I spend $400 for brand new tires, in the customer's mind, they can't get that same deal. So when they go to buy tires, it's going to be $700 or $800.
They always think $1,000.
$1,000. Now, here's the bigger issue. When they go take it to get tires, and this is what my buy here, pay here guy taught me. This is how I learned this, because they learned this through their experience. Joe customer, we skimp on the tires. 6 months down the road, they get a flat. And the tires are all kind of edgy to begin with. So they take it to the tire shop. Tire shop tells them $800 for tires. But, Mr. Customer, we did a courtesy check on your car, and it needs $4,000 worth of maintenance and repairs. Well, guess what? The first phone call. You sold me a piece of shit. You sold me a lemon. You sold me a lemon.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
And here's the thing. That's a whole nother subject, but I've had plenty of times where customers will give me a bill, and I'm going to be posting this too. My buddy went to Rover. They gave 40,000 miles on his Rover. They gave him a courtesy check and needed $9,000 in repairs. He brought it to me. We fixed everything for $800.
Wow.
You take something to one of these tire places and they do the same thing. Like, dude, they'll hit you for $1,000 for brakes, and it's got this leak and it's got this suspension and this and that. You know what I mean? And they freak you out because you don't know. The average person doesn't know. So you're thinking anything suspension, I'm going to be driving down the road, it's going to break, and I'm going to run the ditch and die.
Yeah, they'll tell you it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
You know, I just took my Lexus in for service. I got a 2025 Lexus.
Yeah.
5,000 miles.
Yeah.
They said, hey, you need an air filter. Man, stop it. Stop it. This car's been sitting in my garage. I've driven it twice. Stop.
Yeah.
But that's great.
It's insane.
It's great for the retail guy.
Yeah.
Because I've never thought about that. You know, my motto, tires less than 100 miles. When I'm at the auction, if it's got bad tires, I walk away. Because I have anxiety, I can't talk to a tire shop. Because
I'll hook you up on tires.
There you go. I go to Walmart, but the time you wait, you got to make an appointment. You got to wait 2 weeks. Yeah. The price is right. But if I go to the tire shop down the street and buy used tires, I'm getting bullshit.
Yeah.
The service is bad.
No.
Then you drive down the road and you feel this.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. So I avoid it.
So think about this. Now we're going back to, and this is what I've been preaching, because I'm the prime example. When people see, or I tell them what I can sell cars for wholesale, it just blows their mind. Okay. Even my guy, he knows, you know, he's paying me way more than the car's worth, but he's just not buying the car. He's buying, Greg knows what he's doing. Greg's not cutting any corners. Greg's just not clearing a check engine light, and just because it didn't come on once, he's going to send me the car. Greg fixes the problem. Greg drives it 3 more times to make sure the check engine light doesn't come on again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Greg doesn't skimp on tires. Greg doesn't sell me cars with headaches. Therefore, he pays me a premium, and he can command a premium from his customer because he knows he's got a good product. I mean, think about this. The easiest car you've ever sold in your life, the one that you get, the 1 out of 50 or the 1 out of 100 that you just get that cream puff.
That mint car.
And how hard is it to sell?
24 hours.
Because here's the thing. You can just sit there and smile and say, yeah, I appreciate it, but go find another one.
Yep,
I've got the nicest one.
By a mile. I got a motto. When I buy that one of
100 or maybe 1 of 200 nowadays.
I park it on my lot and I say, hey, that one right there, they come, they see, they drive, they buy.
Yeah.
There's no negotiating.
Yeah.
And 24 hours every time, they're hard to find, they're expensive.
So what if you could do that on every car?
That's why I got you here.
That's the game.
I'm tired of being poor.
That's the game I'm trying to put you on.
So you're here.
Peeps, listen up.
I got to get down with this BuyCon thing. Now I got a question about MMR, right?
All right.
As a wholesaler, as a retail dealer, if I wanted to buy cars from you, am I paying over MMR? How do you view MMR?
So this is MMR is, to me, if you want to get into like conspiracy theory, Manheim, they're the biggest game in the business, right? They have huge lease companies and banks and accounts and stuff
Cox
like
Media,
that.
They're the world.
Yeah. They also own, I think, Auto Trader. They own
the floor plan companies.
They own
the
the Kelly Blue Book, I think. You know what I mean? So, like, here's the thing. If I'm putting out like a market report, that's my own market report, and I also put out a book value, and I also own an advertising company, you know what I mean? Like, can I manipulate the market? It's like, because they've convinced people, just like Carfax, they brainwashed you into thinking, oh, if I don't have the Carfax, then I'm going to get screwed or whatever, or like Carfax is the Bible. So now people are brainwashed into MMRs, what a car's really worth. So if I go to these banks and these leasing companies, right? Well, how am I going to sell them on, let me sell your cars? I'm going to get you money for them, right? So if I can influence the market to make those cars bring more, I'm getting a lot more money for the banks and the leasing companies, and you got something going on here. That's one piece of it. But here's the thing. The problem with MMR and condition reports, it's very skewed, because how do they come up with MMR? It's through transactions, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the wider the disparity in the transaction, then the harder it is to come up with a price.
Correct.
Okay. If I'm selling 2022 Hertz rental cars, and they're all Toyota Camrys, let's say, and they all have 30,000 miles, and they're all 3 years old, and they're all the same condition. Well, when they run through the auction, let's say MMR is 23,000. They're going to bring 23,000, 23,000, 23,000, 23,000, 23,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time I've ever seen MMR be pretty accurate. But if you have, like the cars I buy, let's say a Chevy Traverse, for example, a 2013 Chevy Traverse with 120,000 miles. Okay. Let's say there's 1,000 transactions. You may have 10 nice ones out of 1,000.
Yeah.
You may have 300 of them with rattling motors. You may have 400 of them with body damage. You may have, you know what I mean? So you may have some of them red light, green light. So now you have all these crazy transactions of now, like I saw one the other day, speaking of Traverses, MMR was $4,000 and it was clean. It was a 13, I think. It brought $8,000. Wow. So, but it was very nice. It was the one. It was the one we're talking about.
Okay.
It was that one. So that just goes to show you. The cheaper the MMR, the more off it's going to be. The higher the MMR, the more accurate it's going to be. And that's because the condition and the transactions of the cars. Like a 2013 Chevy Traverse, you're going to have them from that 80,000 miles to 280,000. 2023 Toyota Camrys, they're probably all going to be in the 20 to 40, 50,000 mile range. So you don't have that big disparity, that big disparity in the conditions and the miles. So that's why MMR, the actual transactions, are going to be more accurate. So it's like we used to say back in the day, well, book value's this. And I'm like, well, I don't care about Black Book. I'm a checkbook. And I'm a writer for this because I ain't ever got Black Book to write me a check for a car yet.
Yeah, Kelly Blue Book doesn't have print check.
Same way with MMR.
So I got a question, right? I brought you my GMC just to look at.
Yeah.
And there was 9 transactions. Right?
Okay.
It's got 127,000 miles.
Yeah.
There was no MMR unavailable. But there was one with 140 that brought 8,800.
Yeah.
Right? Then there was one with 2 and change that brought 3,500.
Yeah.
So I kind of did my own ghetto math and I paid $5,000.
Yeah.
You nailed it on the head. It was worth 5. Where'd you come up with that number? How'd you you didn't even do all the work I did.
Right.
Like I pulled Carfax, I got on Car Guru, I was on Marketplace. Like I searched the world. It took me 2 days to come up with $5,000.
Yeah.
You did it in 40 seconds.
So
it kind of offended me. I gotta be honest here.
So I watch these guys that post a lot of stuff about markets and values and all this stuff. Wholesalers back in the day, we were looked at as kind of like scum of the earth, you had your car dealers and then you had wholesalers, and wholesalers just kind of had a bad reputation back in the day. But here's the thing about a wholesaler. We know what the market is. We know what a car is worth because we're the ones every day so wholesale is, I'm buying it for this, I'm selling it for this. Those transactions are happening every day. Retail, like a guy told me once, old car guy in the retail business, because I was asking him like, what do you think about retail? I was asking for advice, right? Yeah. And he goes, here's the deal with retail. You never know to who, you never know when, and you never know for how much. I don't like that game.
It's a hard game.
You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. In wholesale, back in the day, we would go look at the car. We would call around and have the car sold before we bought it, right? Or we would watch cars go through the auction, and I'm like, I'm watching that truck go through the auction. I've seen trucks like it in that condition, bring this amount of money, and I know there's 2 or 3 guys, and they buy those types of trucks. So like, I don't look at a book ever. I don't look at, unless I have somebody that's buying according to a book value, I look at it so I know what I can sell it for. But in my whole life, I just know transactions from
So
what
your
I
whole
see.
thing is,
Yeah,
I know what I'm going to sell this for before I touch it.
100%.
And then you break it down.
Yeah.
Now I got a question. The other day you asked me how I buy cars, and we've been relatively successful. I'm, not as big as you, but I never look at what the market has ever, 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 ever. I don't get on Facebook and look, and I don't get on Car Guru and see what they're selling. I don't care what you're selling yours for.
Right.
Right? Because like you, I don't cut corners.
Yeah.
I buy a specific vehicle and whatever. So I only use MMR. That's it. That's the only thing I care about. I care about MMR and how much the bank tells me it books for. Outside of that, I guess I'm doing it wrong.
Well, you're doing part of it right, because the bank's telling you what they're going to loan you for.
Correct.
Or loan the customer.
Yeah, that's important.
Okay. And the way you're using MMR is you're probably knowing, and this is the problem, because everybody else thinks the same stuff. So if MMR is $5,000, right? Well, then you got a lot of guys that think that's all cars are worth, so they're not going to bid more than 5. But if your bank says it's worth 10 retail, okay, and you look at MMR, you're like, well, everybody else is going to look at MMR and think, oh, it's only worth 5. So in your mind, you're like, okay, I can probably buy it around 5. So that would be your justification for looking at MMR. But the more important thing is you know what you can sell it for first. Okay? Because MMR doesn't matter. If MMR was $2,000 and you could sell it for 10, right? You know you got a big spread. But let's say MMR was 15 and you can only sell it for 10.
I'm not buying it.
You're probably not even going to go look at it, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So, but why? Because of what you can sell it for.
Yeah.
You got to know that number first, always. You got to work it backwards. Everybody's got it backwards. They're all they think about is, I'm going to buy it. And then after I buy it and I paid too much, but it was nice. And then I think I can sell it for this.
That's what it always is. I think.
I just want to
I think I can hold it, and 60 days in, I'm cutting prices. Like, man.
Nah, you gotta figure out what you can sell it. Because here's the thing, that's where the discipline comes in. It takes the emotion out of it. My program, there's no emotion. It's just numbers. You know what I mean? Like, think of how many guys at the auction you see that when they get engaged buying a car and they, it's the heat of the moment and the excitement.
Oh, we go to war. If you're trying to outbid me, I don't care.
Yeah, and that fucking Rob, he's bidding against me on every car. I'm going to show him. Yeah. And you keep bidding, all you did was just cost yourself money.
That's all I did.
You cost, and if
it's that ego bidding.
Oh, yeah.
That's so hard.
I don't do that game. To me, there's no emotion, no ego, no nothing in it. It's numbers. And if more people would look at it as just the numbers, everybody make more money.
Now, I saw a video, and I don't watch a lot of TikTok, but I did stop and watch your video. You said you made some mistakes on some cars, and you showed them. And that's when I stopped watching. I got to show attention. So when I met you, I was like, damn, this guy's perfect. And it's been killing me that you're perfect. And then you admitted to your mistake, and I'm like, okay, now we're this.
He's human.
He's fucking, he's a person. So how did you make the mistake? How soon did it take you to find out? And are you going to take a loss?
So anybody that tells you that they never lose or they've never made a mistake or whatever, like, that should just throw up a red flag right off the bat.
Well, I want to stop you because Rick the car guy, king of cars.
Oh, yeah. Unless you're the king of cars.
It's never made a mistake.
Asterisk. One exception. There's always a unicorn.
There you go.
We love you, Rick. Hey, I'm not Bigfoot. Don't come after me.
All right.
So here's the thing. This is a prime example. One of my guys that I worked with, he's kind of like a mentor. We work together a lot, and he was always proud of the fact that he never lost money on a car. But he was a mechanic and he owned a body shop and all this, so he could fix stuff himself, right? But here's the thing. It's like he would do one car or two cars or whatever. Like the numbers weren't there. I'm like, anytime you're doing numbers, inevitably you're going to lose money. If you're not taking enough. You're not doing enough.
You're leaving money
right?
on the table.
Yeah, because here's the thing: nobody's perfect, but it's kind of like baseball. You know, a Hall of Fame guy in baseball has like a 3-something batting average, so that means he failed like 6, 7 times, right? You know, cars is kind of the same, a little bit like more of like, hey, as long as you're like 60, 70, 80%, you're going to do really well.
Okay.
The problem is guys hover around the 50. They make a little, lose a little, get back to even, make a little.
See, that's where I'm at now.
It's kind of like the casino. You ever go to the casino and you sit down and you play, oh, you're up a little, you're down a little, you're up a little, you're down a little, you're at even, you know what I mean? Sooner or later, they're going to take you out. You're going to lose. You know what I mean? So here's the thing. In the beginning, when I'm learning, I would lose money on cars, and then I would learn from those cars. Okay, this is what I'm trying to teach everybody and tell everybody that's interested in getting in the game. I got 30 years of learning lessons, knowledge that I've packed together, right? I took my 30 years of those learning lessons, and then I looked at like the data and the results. And I looked at everything and I'm like, okay, these things are common. When you do this, this is the result, right? So out of the 30 years and all those learning mistakes, what I did was I was like, what are the foundational principles that never change? When we first started, and Jim's the guy I'm talking about, me and Jim, I got a jump box and we're at the auction and we're buying repos, and we get in every car, jump start them. He gets under the hood, checking the fluids, checking the frame damage, checking the motor. I'm inside checking the car. That was 34 years ago. I've inspected probably 200,000 cars since then that I've physically got in myself. That never changes. Those cars that I'm going to lose my ass on, guess what I didn't do?
You didn't check them.
I didn't check them.
Why'd you buy them?
I didn't sit in a seat. Because when you get like me, your battery's getting low there. You know, once again, I have to admit, I'm not perfect, and even sometimes I catch myself slipping. I get complacent, I get lazy, and here's the thing. And I got a little bit, you know, let's say, got a little bit of ego in there too, to where when you're so good and you're dominating and it's so easy, sometimes you get a little complacent and lazy and bored. Like you don't have that same hunger. And literally, I could go to the auction and I would call what I'd say take a flyer sometimes. It's a very calculated risk because it's vehicles I've probably bought and sold before.
Okay.
And a lot of times I'm winning. I'm going to win more times than I'm going to lose. And usually I'm going to win big. Like one of these vehicles I bought for $800.
What was it?
An Expedition. It was that shitty Expedition I put in the video.
What motor's in it?
5.4.
Ah!
But it's the it's like an 07.
Okay.
So it's the pre-cam phaser nightmare. Well, here's the problem. I buy it off the pictures in the, you know, in the condition report.
So you didn't buy it live? You bought it online?
Bought it online.
So you didn't even hear it run through?
No. Well, here was the thing. This is why I took a flyer on it too. And I'm telling you, this was a big gamble. So it's in the TRA sale, but it's a new car trade and it won't stay running. And I'm like, oh, we can fix this, because I'm thinking it's, you know, fuel pump or throttle pedal or something, you know, like that. I can see the paint sunburn on it. And it was like, dude, I'm going to throw the dice. Because even if I got to put a motor in it at 800, because I can sell it for 7,500 done.
No way.
100%.
No way. To who?
Buy here, pay here.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
So I'm thinking at 800, what can I lose? What's my downside versus my upside? And this could be a $4,000 or $5,000 lick. So I threw the dice at it, and I got snake eyes.
Wow.
I get it in person. It's got rust in it that you couldn't see in the pictures, bad rust on the roof that you couldn't see. And it just ended up being a turd.
So what are you going to do with it?
I'm running back to the auction.
Running though?
Yeah, it runs. It'll drive through the sale.
Okay.
It barely runs, but it'll drive. Yeah. So
you'll take whatever on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna lose. I mean, there used to be a saying like, what's the most, if you pay $1,000 for a car, what's the most you can lose? You would think 1,000, right? If I just threw the car away, I'm losing 1,000, but that's not true. This is what I teach in my program, why you got to know your numbers. Because here's the thing. I buy the vehicle for 800.
Yeah.
I've got a buy fee.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got to tow it from there to my shop. Now I got to pay my guy to inspect it. Now we're throwing a little bit of money at it, trying to get it running right. Okay. Then it sits there. It's got a dead battery. Now I put a battery in it. Now I got to pay a guy to tow it back to the sale. I bought a seat for it because one of the leather seats was completely ripped out. So I replaced that. So I spent some money on a recon, plus all that other stuff. I'm probably $1,500-$1,800 into it, and it's maybe going to bring 500. So I'm probably going to lose $1,300 on a vehicle I paid $800 for.
Woo.
So, but at the time, it was the gamble that I was willing to take because the upside was I make 4,000 or 5,000. But here's the thing: for anybody starting out, do not do this. Okay. And I even caught myself, and my mechanic even said, dude, you broke your own rule, man. What are you thinking? He's like, get these pieces of shit out of here. Because what I did was I would just throw it to the side and just kind of forget about it. And then you make that mistake again. Then you set that one there. And next thing you know, I got 5 of them sitting there.
Now, out of curiosity, why wouldn't you retail it? You could probably get $1,500 on the street. You'd rather lose money than deal with a person?
100%. And why would I want to sell somebody a headache?
You just tell them it's a piece of shit.
I don't even want to do that to them.
Fair.
And here's the thing. There's so much. Well, okay, here's a prime example. So one of the cars was a decent car. It had a little bit of rust that wasn't nothing, major. It's not going to break in half. But for my QC standards, for my guys, it was too excessive. So once we got it back to the shop, beautiful car, interior beautiful, ice cold air, like nice, clean car. But when we got it up on the lift, too much excessive rust. Guy comes into my shop. Hey, what are you looking? No, I don't sell to the public. I was like, what are you looking for? A kid's car or something? He seemed like a nice guy. He's like, yeah, just something to drive back and forth to work. I said, cash? He said, cash. Yeah. I said, you know what I do have? I'm getting ready to send this car back to the auction, right? So I'm thinking, if I send it back to auction, I pay all the fees and all the stuff, you know what I mean? I'm probably going to lose $1,000. I said, I think I got $3,000 in it. I'll sell it to you for the $3,000. There you go. Otherwise, I'm sending it back to the auction, right? He loves the car, loves me. Thank you so much. I'm like, cool. This turns into, let me go get my wife. Bring my wife back. He's all excited. And then it's 20 phone calls. Hey, I'm going to come back and pick it up, and I'm going to bring you some money. Let me give you $1,000 down. And then he comes back. Hey, I'm going to be off work tomorrow. And then it's like literally this, what should have took 5 minutes, pay me, take the car, see ya, turns into him coming to my shop like 7 times, having to deal with him every time, my office man, all this stuff. And I'm like, this is why I don't deal with the public. I mean, nothing against the guy, super nice guy, but all that time and energy and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
It was just, and it was a great experience because he was very happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But otherwise, I'm just sitting there. About the fifth time that he came back, and after about the seventh phone call, I thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there? I'll be there after the auction. I go, this is why I don't retail.
Fair enough.
Because it's not my game.
And that's crazy because you have a drive-up lot
Yeah.
right on Front Street. This guy's got a beautiful lot right on Front Street. What do you have there, 30 to 50 cars?
Right now, well, I just shipped the load out. We were pushing 50, so we're down to like 40, and then I just sent 5 to the auction. So now we're back down to what, 35.
And you're never scared? Like, I gotta retail something?
I have an experience like that. That's the first car I've retailed in years to somebody I didn't know. And I was like, oh, that was just a reminder of why you don't do that. Because you know what I told him? That car that I just sold you for $3,000, if there was the rust wasn't excessive, I had it sold wholesale for $5,000. No lie. So when I can sell the car $5,000 wholesale to another dealer versus selling it retail to somebody for $3,000 that I had to deal with 20 conversations and all this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
And how'd you fit, what is it, 30 years now you've been in the business?
34.
Into this program?
I am grew up in the country. I'm a very simple guy. Me and you are kind of similar. You know, I didn't go to college, barely graduated high school. I'm not saying I wasn't smart, but I'm just not interested.
Oh, he's better
right?
than me. I got my GED.
Yeah.
He's flexing right now.
But, dude, I've never been like a book person or a tech person or anything. Like, dude, I love being outside. I love working with my hands. And if I had to be like in an office, it would drive me nuts. That's another reason why I don't like retail. But I'm very simple. And, I've done fitness and nutrition, like health coaching for people. And, what I've found is the more complicated something is, the less likely that somebody, A, is going to do it, and B, they're going to have success in it. So I literally spent 2 years revisions and simplifying to the point where, how can I make a system so simple that somebody with no experience and can just, here's the system, follow the system, get the result. And that's really what I created.
So you're telling me someone who's never been in the car business, because before I entered this, I was selling cars for a new car franchise. Then I went to a used car franchise. I met the wholesalers. I met the mechanics. I met the banks.
Yeah.
I knew so much.
Yeah.
Someone who, without all that experience, could do this.
It's the CarMax model. So I don't know if you're aware, if everybody's aware, but CarMax will not hire you if you have experience.
I didn't know that.
The only ones they'll hire with experience, obviously, is mechanics, right?
Fair.
Salesmen, anybody else. And here's why. They have a system that works, and they don't want you to screw it up.
It's hard to unlearn something.
If back in the day, like the new car stores, like there was always kind of like a sports teams or whatever. Like, dude, if you're the man, if you're the MVP and you're the high producer, dude, you got people trying to poach you. Hey, come over to my dealership. I'll pay you more money. I'll give you more percentage. You know what I mean? Because you're dependent on that guy, just like a quarterback. You know, it's like, hey, let me get Tom Brady over here. I'm going to pay him because I know he can produce. You're dependent on the player. CarMax developed a system that's not dependent on the player.
Genius.
It's dependent on the system, right? I built the same thing because I realized the only way that I can duplicate myself is through a system, a simplified system that the normal, average, anybody can learn and follow. Because once again, if you spent the next 30 years trying to do what I do, good luck.
You know, we've been talking for a little while and I've learned so much.
Yeah.
This is crazy because I've actually had 5 people come in, shadow me, and get their auction access, and I take them to the auction, and I've had 5 people fail.
Yeah.
Drastically.
Yeah.
Then I meet you and you show me your program, and first of all, I can't believe all the experience you have. Because I've talked to guys 30, 40 years in the business.
Yeah.
You know, I know everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
You don't know a fucking thing.
There's a big difference. Like when we talk numbers, because I'm a numbers guy. You got to know your numbers. Numbers changes everything. Take the emotion out of it. Take everything out of it. It's all a numbers game. So when I talk about me personally, and I'm ballparking because I could be probably on the low side. I'm not inflating the numbers, but probably because I know how many cars I have to inspect for the ones I actually get purchased. That's where I kind of came up with 200,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means I have sat in, started, touched, smelt, felt over 200,000 cars. I have numbers to prove it, sold over 11,000. Now there's a lot of guys, like back in the day, you know, when you would buy the cars out of the new car store, my mentor, he was selling 100 a week. Okay, but back then you were trying to make $50 a car, $100 a car, whatever, and you're working on the volume, but you weren't doing anything to the cars.
Yeah.
So when I say I do an FLR wholesale deal, for every one of those I do, maybe the equivalent to 10, the amount of time and effort and energy it takes to do 10 that you're really not doing anything to. So I've done 11,000 myself, inspected them, bought them, reconditioned them, wholesale, right? Which those kind of numbers, if you equated it to, there's guys out there going, oh, 11,000 ain't that many cars. I've done 100,000. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't really do what I did. You didn't go through that whole process.
What's your number per car profit?
I ran the numbers. The last 1,200 cars I've sold, I'm averaging 18, a little over 18. Close to 2.
And you don't got to talk to a single person except for the guy buying.
No, it's
no paperwork, no DMV.
This will blow your mind. I literally, with the relationship I have, I don't tell them what I'm selling them, and I don't tell them for how much. I get the cars, I get them ready, I deliver them, then I tell them, here's the prices, and they just buy them. That's the relationship we have. Yeah.
Wow. So before we wrap this up, we've been on a long time. You brought something here. You brought some hard data. You know, he wants to prove he's not full of shit. You know, he's created a great program for you guys. He's given out the game. And what is this?
So so what I did was I pulled I went into my DMS. Everybody, that's a dealer management system. You know what your DMS is.
Yeah.
So this is all the transactions that I've done for the last 3 years. I just pulled up the last 3 years.
Each page is front and back, mind you.
Yeah. So what's that number?
3,000, 12,000, 1,225. I got bad eyesight.
So in the last 3 years, that's 1,225. There's the gross. And here's what I did. I sorted them because I wanted to show some real big, because once again, I'm selling the cheaper stuff now, so my average just dropped a little bit, right? But look at those numbers. This is wholesale. And look at how many pages of that there is.
This is crazy. I got to show you guys this. This is outrageous.
So I'm still flipping pages, and we just dropped below 2.
Hold on, let me show them this.
You can't, don't show them that side.
All right, let's cover that part up.
Yeah.
All right. So all this information is good, right?
Yeah. Cost, recon, profit.
He profited over $7,000. Look at this. Over $7,000 on a wholesale unit. This is unheard of. I can't even do this retail, man.
Look at those numbers.
7,900, 7,100, 6,500. The whole page is over. Look, the lowest number is 4. Oh, this is outrageous.
Yeah.
Guys.
And here's the crazy thing. Look at what I bought the car for.
His cost was $3,000.
I bought a $3,000 car, and it made me almost $8,000 profit.
Look, I tell you guys all the time, game is free. The hustle sold separately.
Yeah.
If you don't follow Wholesale Greg on TikTok, follow him. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Next week, we're going to do this again. It's 30-something years of information. We just can't get it out in one day. But this guy's legit. He's got BuyCon. It's a great program. He's going to put it together. He's going to teach you guys more than I could ever.
Yeah, so hit me up. You can DM me, Wholesale Greg. The BuyCon University, the training program, it's live now. The software's coming, so hopefully soon on the software. But right now, anybody that wants the training, I'm offering some special deals right now, because right here in the beginning, just like I was saying today, whenever something's new, like you know how it is, you're doing the same thing. You give away so much free knowledge and free game and whatever. Now you're at the point where you just can't answer all the messages.
That's it. I gotta sell it at this point.
And obviously the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've lost and the millions of dollars that I've made, that experience, like for you to be able to tap into my brain and get that knowledge, I do the same thing. I pay people a lot of money to collapse time. Like I don't have the time to learn all the lessons. If there's a business thing or whatever it is, like I pay a lot of my coaches and mentors a lot of money because they've been through it before and I don't have to go through it, and there's a value for me. And I'm doing the same thing. So that's the simple system that I made here in the beginning. Since this is new, I am very accessible, right? I have the extra time. So what I'm offering, and when you DM me Rob, and I'll give you guys a special deal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in some of my, I have 3 levels of coaching and training. My highest level is a VIP, like a one-on-one with me.
Y'all heard that? Mentorship.
Yes.
Mentorship.
Yes. Which that program's $20K. My time is very, very valuable, right? The numbers don't lie. Okay. But what I'm going to do for you guys, you DM me with Rob, I'm interested in training. I'm going to give you in my lower and mid-level program some free one-on-one of the private elite level coaching if you DM me Rob now, because I have the time in the very beginning. I'm going to be very accessible. I want you guys to succeed. And in return, all that I ask from you guys is, hey, you keep promoting me and Rob. You give me a testimonial. We do some documentation on your journey of what you learned and the money you're making and how I helped you out. And we'll do that as an exchange. And yeah, this is pretty much a one-time deal, because as we grow, Rob's bringing out a program too. There's only so much time in the day.
There is. The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So till next week. Next week we're doing it again.